You cannot do telecom business or digital business without. There are two issues that are needed. One is strategic partners or investors or equity investors. We chose this time around because of the experience of the past, to be, self-sustaining Ghanaian company. I cannot see why we as a Ghanaian companies, we cannot build any company to be a billion-dollar company yet. One of the major saddest things that I've had in my life after being in this game for so long was the recent banking issue that has gone on in Ghana.
The banking challenges.
Where even Ghanaian, like GN Bank, Omni Bank, my brothers, Kwesindum and, Joseph, cannot, could not raise 400 million cedis, as an equity capital. And there's no help from anywhere. It is very sad for me, I must be honest with you. It shook my foundation, it shook myself, because it must happen. It has to happen, 400 million cedis is not a whole lot of, equity, money to be able to save Ghana. But hey, now GATS now have to build them, giving them money, I think it's about 21% for 5 years. It's another whole debt that's going to go on. So if the economy does not survive, it all happens, unless they work very hard to buy it back or something. But you see, it brings to the table what we must rather focus on in Ghana going forward. What country are we building? Are we building Ghana for foreigners? Or we are building Ghana for Ghanaians and our children in the future? I chose, and we chose, that today we need to build a very solid company in Ghana, locally Ghanaian owned. You can be part owner of the company. The subscribers must be as structured anywhere in the world. This was the path that I decided I started with many years ago. But because of lack of money, lack of equity, we were forced to whatever has happened. There are very, very big brains in this country. Today, look, I'm telling you, some of the youth that we are working with who are applying for jobs on a daily basis, look at their background, what they know, you'll be amazed. So why do you want to worry about, somebody bringing some little amount of dollars or whatever to say that, to change that direction? So the new CELLTEL, which are building, is what we call Smart City Network. Now, Smart City Network in the world today, takes account of, cosmopolitan and district areas, like villages or communities. I don't know which district you come from. So if Ghana has about 275 constituencies.
Yeah.
And today about 260 districts. The government, I'm sure they're going to create more districts. Yeah. 6 new more regions. So we are getting to close to 300, districts. Now these districts all harbors and houses all the 32 or 30 million population in Ghana today. Now, if you look at the data for telecoms even in Ghana today, out of the NCA figures of about 30 or 35 million subscribers, only about 14 to maybe max 20% that are digital, that are smartphones, that are smart technology. The minister, my minister made a comment just before Christmas, I believe, and said that, look, her wish is that by the year 2020, all Ghanaians will have smartphones. That's a very, very, very major statement, which we are buying into. That's a good vision that we are buying into. And he even said that those who want to probably assemble, manufacture, they are encouraged to do so. We are going to do that under this project.
You hope to assemble and
not hope is part of the project.
Okay.
We are not hoping it's part of the project. There's going to be a major assembly plan that will be done with smartphones, televisions, laptops, tablets as part of the deal, because the first key deliveries which we are doing before even the telecoms or the frequency and NCA is about deliveries of the devices. So our first goal is to be able to roll this the 1 million devices in country. I'm sure every staff of Joy FM will be part and parcel of that device ownership. When you go to anywhere in the world, London, US, wherever, nobody buys devices. You subscribe, or they call it contract for 3 years, 48 months, or whatever it is. So the service package is the one that goes with it. So you'll be able to, Joy FM, for instance, you're in a major media situation. So there will be a meeting held to find out from your IT what exactly might be the kind of application that Joy FM needs. Those are structured and covered for you from a network. That goes also the network design. So those have to be established. If you look at this prominent, massive policy that government is doing, like the free SHS, what is happening today is people are worried about concrete and mortar. I laugh and I smile when I hear about those things, because the solution is not concrete and mortar, it's online studies these days. Yep. Because our children's colleagues in Sweden, Finland, wherever, they are holding the tablet you are holding, they are learning. Every child that goes to school are holding a device, and the teaching and learning goes through it. Now that must happen in this country, because whether we like it or not, when the children finish, they want to move on, they need to have that knowledge. So one of the major projects about this company also is to how do we connect all the students in this country onto the network.
Because I was going to ask you that
Yeah.
you can't have smartphones when you don't have the internet available.
Yeah.
Because affordability,
Yeah.
accessibility
Yeah.
is something that is key.
Yeah.
I mean, today, even with the Android devices that people have, which are supposed to be smart, or be it Apple that people are holding, the issue has always been, media, I'm just holding the phone. You hear them, speak in that Ghanaian language. I use it to receive just calls. I just read text messages. I buy some small data just to be able to access my WhatsApp messages that comes. And so affordability, accessibility to the network, which is the internet, is one key thing. How are you ensuring that if I'm walking from Joy FM to, let's say, CELTEL, I'm not off the network?
People think I'm the best engineer in the whole world, but I'm not. I'm just a business person, so I look for knowledge.
With knowledge?
I look for knowledge. One of the major help and support that I got for this project was from Mr. Joe Anochi, the current Director General of NCA. We had a meeting with them, with the Cisco people, to be able to brief.
So Cisco is your partner?
Yes, Cisco,
in this project.
Cisco is a lead partner for this project.
Okay.
Let me just talk about technology a little bit. This technology I'm going to talk about as a hybrid of technology. Cisco will do the network, the Meraki, for the Wi-Fi stuff. Because of fiber unavailability in Ghana, the major problem about the internet you talk about is local fiber or global connectivity. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist?
Yes. So
with all the stories we heard about fiber, being brought in by some networks, and the government is laying one to Tamale.
I don't think you have fiber in your village, do you? At least I don't have it in my village. I don't have it in my village. So what we did was that we looked at all there were a lot of engagement. NCA was involved from the various engagement. Let me tell you, like I said, this project was able to revive the whole company. So there were a lot of engagement with engineers, available technology. How do you adapt that into local, technology or whatever it is? We look at NITA. If you go to NITA's, data center, it's a huge data center, one of the best and the biggest in the whole of Africa, I can say. So part of this network will be hosted there, once we get there. NITA by law are supposed to connect almost all the district assemblies and all the government offices, but they have challenges. So we want to partner with them to be able to
give them accessibility.
So all that going on. So what we're doing is that we are this new network, this company. Thank God, I think we've been blessed, that even though things became hashy, there was a renewed confidence back into this new company. So most of the major companies in the world, the best of the world, like Hughes Corporation, for instance, from the US, are bringing on board a satellite, technology that will connect all the villages in this country.
So Cisco, Hughes Technology,
Hughes Corporation,
Hughes Corporation,
and then Cambion, and others will bring in the multi-point radios, which are long-range radios to cover everywhere. Cisco is leading with a very major, so there are all the major companies that will name them. They are part and parcel of the current program, that we are doing. There are other programs who are proposing the LTE, which is the current that but there's something now we call IoT, Internet of Things or Internet of Everything today, which is over and above the 4G, the issues that everybody's talking about. If you look at Amazon, for instance, Amazon operates by cloud.
Yeah.
Not fiber or the ground everybody talks about. So there's a very major cloud issue going on, in the country. If you look at recently the NCA auctioned some frequencies from 4G, new 4G,
which Vodafone got what?
They didn't achieve the price point they wanted. I think Vodafone, bid for $24 million. Another company bid for $2 million. So it tells you the lack of interest in that space, anymore of technology. So I think they negotiated and they end up paying about $30 million, which is about almost another $30 million less than what MTN paid for.
MTN paid for, yeah.
So it shows you that space is no more, that much important in technology, today, because today things are moving on. Only this week on Friday, last week, there's a whole new policy change in Barcelona. The mobile conference in Barcelona, where it's been decided that big data is the key now. Oil has even been relegated to the background. Those who are chasing oil as a revenue for a country have a big news for them. They have to start changing because big data is going to kill all that. Netanyahu champion is, talk about it that today, formerly Israel used to be an agriculture country. Nobody likes Israel, whatever. But today, nobody has any choice because of big data and artificial intelligence. Israel is in every company because of knowledge base. So Ghana has to move from where we are to a knowledge-based and digital-based technology. Government is struggling and doing very well. Vice President Bawumia is always championing paperless, Ghana pools data. Nobody is understanding him, drones or whatever. But hey, that's what has to be done today.
But if we don't have the big data or the Internet of Things, as you talk about, these things
that's what I was
telling
achieved. You. That's what I was going to that. When we met, Joe Noche with the Cisco people, he gave us a very, very important advice. He has a problem with this project because this thing is big, but we need a big pipe. So I said, what pipe are you talking about? Do you need a water pipe or whatever it is? So he laughed and then talked about that. There must be Ghana does not have a lot of major, pipe that brings the data or the big data that will transform all this. So I have news for you. We are through that. Today we have a major company, PCCW, out of UK that's bringing over 400 gig of data, and they're arriving here March, to be able to hold the final talk. So we are bringing big data capacity, to the country as the first Ghanaian company. I'm proud to say that, bring a very major capacity. We are going to provide. The plan is to be able to give anywhere between 1 to 1.5 to maximum 2 gig, for every district. That will blow the whole district to Wi-Fi technology, whatever anybody wants to do. This project is being captured. It's not a telecom project, it's what we call a smart city. I was in West Tema the whole of last week at Shamba trying to see, Tema is dark, so one of the major things is smart lighting.
Yep.
How do you, lighting all our villages? How do you put, digital signage all over the place? Airport City, airport, that airport is where the NCA is, all the hotels there. That place, if it's Dubai, would have been a very beautiful place,
Because in the evening, the lightning would have been very
nice. Those are
nice
what we call smart lighting. You don't see a little water fountain there, and about 100,000, 200,000 pass there every day. All the clearages, the airport is 5 million airport. There's nothing there, but we are incorporating this in our projects. All these are part and parcel of our project. I'm not trying to unearth what we're about doing.
Okay, this time I see a lot of government involvement in what you're doing, which kind of, because you're talking about the NCA, you're talking about the ministry, the NCA as a regulator who will be your boss and be regulating, ensure that you
collaborate
ensure that you stay within the rules, the rules of engagement as it will be, and ensuring that they crack the whip as and when you kind of go veer off what you're supposed to be doing. Who are the other players that you have? Because I had read that one Chinese company, and then also the question of the funding. Where is it coming from?
Okay. Let me talk about this NCA thing. I think everybody seems to think MCA is a major policing, organization. Everybody is worried, afraid of NCA. NCA is a very major collaborator as far as the act is concerned to ensure that Ghana moves from where they are to digital platforms or whatever. They are very, very helpful young people there. That's a lot of help. They're not there to whip, or to whip everybody. I don't think that's what they are set up for. They are there to provide and guide, licenses so you are in a good framework. In fact, we have not even gotten fully there yet because we are trying to see what exactly are there's so many technologies that are coming to Ghana. There is a issue about unlicensed frequencies, which we wrote to NCA to find out. Issue of Apple devices, whether or not Apple is approved, device in Ghana. Those
We're already using them.
Well, you are using them, but you need to be able to check
find out from the NC whether it's approved or not. So if they come to tell me it's not approved, I have to stop it.
I don't have to have any problems. So we want to make sure that
anyway,
because of problems, we don't want to have any problems. So they are very, very big collaborator. NITA is a very big collaborator. We hope and pray that we don't want this to be lie in the bosom of government. It's not a government project; it's a private sector project collaborating with government. Now the district assemblies by law. When I was AGI president, another thing that we did, by law are supposed to do business. You see, look, it's only in Ghana that the mayors are broke, the district assemblies are broke. There's nowhere in the world that district assemblies are not wealthy. I can give you some of the sample. Look, you see Legon, University of Ghana, Legon. Legon is in Quantanan district. Down to UPSA,
Yep.
and all of them. Airports and the Kotopon district.
Kotopon.
But they have nothing to do with it. But elsewhere in the world, no, the mayor is in charge. You see, I want to tell my wife, the whole of last week working. Look, Tema, a lot of the company have what it calls CSR, corporate social responsibility. They company can get together and at least provide smart lighting for Tema. I see why not. They shouldn't do so. They must do it. The Babaya will be waiting for common fund and some small revenues. But this project, for instance, is supposed to do revenue sharing project.
Okay.
So that every district that whatever revenue, we are looking at about 5,000. We are beginning about 5,000 devices per district. So the 1 million divided by the 16 now is 260. So anywhere 5,000 per district is enough to roll the network. And that whatever revenue generated, we are working and talking to be able to make sure that share revenue with the district.
With the district. So the initial funding, which I hear is around $300 million, where are you getting that from?
Oh, the funding from projects.
And at what cost?
Well, that's again your knowledge about funding. A project called all you know is about loans. About loans. This project is a very, very, very interesting project that is going to be that is being funded. From what I call the would-be owners, which are the subscribers like you. The goal is that the first 1 million subscribers will be part owners of the company. We're looking at various, we're going to be franchising the districts, to various partners, like it's happening in India or other areas, to be able to be franchise owners. McDonald's is owning those buildings. They are owned by franchisees, Burger King, most of these companies, the big companies, they don't own anything. They own only the brand.
Yes.
And they do franchising. So that's the kind of scope that we are bringing in. You see, my major thing in this kind is not all that. My major happiness in this project, how do I contribute to that after all these years? What legacy am I leaving behind? If all this business, all these things, that's my major challenge of this one. And my challenge is that I need, or we need, through this program, to create the time that I've lost in doing so. We need to fast track and create 1,000 to 10,000 millionaires, Ghanaian, millionaires, and out of this project. Now, what do I mean by millionaires? Most Ghanaian, they are struggling, but they might not. There's plenty for all. There's a lot for everybody in this country. So how do we organize, people to be in the districts, signing on, about 200-300, subscribers, to be able, to create a business, register business, and have 1 million cedis turnover, and then they can take it up from there. Because this was done in many countries like the US, SBA and all of them. But it doesn't happen here. Dr. Awal is trying very hard under the business development and AGA, SME, but wanted to make it practical to make sure it happens. So that's one of the major delights that I have. So what we've done is that we are engaging a lot of banks today. We have so many banks who have not agreed to participate. So when we come to Joy FM, for instance, we'll come with a bank. So the bank will finance you instead of you buying cash. So you can buy about 2 tablets or 1 laptop for your business and be financed by a bank so that you pay. But you're not borrowing, like elsewhere. If it's about 120 cedis, 150 cedis a month, that's all you pay. But that will be underwritten by a bank, for you. So those structures is what we are bringing, on board, as a new, which must happen. So, one of the major problems in Ghana is that the biggest facilities in the world are consumer financings. All these big things, if you look at, Barcelona, Huawei, Samsung, Apple, they are fighting for devices, space, because the device today does everything in this world. All these jobs that, look, NAPO, are very intelligent.
So you hope to create a huge number of jobs.
Over 100,000 jobs we created under this program. It's a big project, not only one unit, about 6 different units that will be popping out of it, and more that will happen. But the more that you provide, we have 4 major areas as a focus. One is education. How do you transform education? How do you, my brother Matthew is having a problem with buildings. Do we need buildings, or can we put solar panel, office structures everywhere in the country, fully air conditioned, computerized for people to go to school? The answer is yes. Let's do it. Because elsewhere in the world, that's what happens. If you look at University of Ghana, sadly, they're only here. University of Ghana should have online all over Africa today. But they're not even in your village or even in my village. So how do you empower University of Ghana? But on that campus, there are almost about 100,000 students, about 35, 40,000 for the core students. This time is about 50,000. That is the number for University of Ghana. University of Winneba is about almost 25 to 30,000. Most of them are teachers who are earning salary, and they also have distance learning another 50,000. The University of Cape Coast, go on. Today we have about 3.5 million people, I think, in the tertiary, both private and government, institutions all over the country. People are studying. There are workers all over. We've seen a lot. We went through somewhere in Kitampo where we saw, health school, about 3,000, students. They all need device to connect it today. When Wechao, way in the north, we traveled the whole country for the last 2 years of my life. Wechao, and we saw some, the Microsoft lady, saw some, young ladies school. So we interviewed them. Those children, they know already, But then one of the things that was a missing link all over the country, they want to find out whether or not there's television in people's homes, and it's absent. Because they feel that the first knowledge for children is television. There might be smart television in home, whether it's a madhouse, whatever it is, there might be television present there. So that's where knowledge comes from. So one of the major problems that I introduced on this project, how do you create smart, happy homes with digital television, smart televisions, and then connected with Wi-Fi.
So which means beyond the telephone, the mobile phones, and then the tablets, you're looking at also, introducing smart televisions.
Yeah, television for every home,
for each home.
The kid, every home in Ghana. That is the thing, But first, again, 5,000 per district. You want to begin from somewhere. Look, when you look, I've done a lot of things. Abu Sokai, for instance. When I was AGI president, there were a lot of problems with those guys coming from Germany. Those days, they call the Bagger boys. Or
the Bagger 1, Bagger 2.
So it was a major crisis. They closed their shop. They were very radical, whatever it is. I had to step in personally. Bar Kofi Ansong, I believe his name was at the time. Brought them together to Mr. Dana Podakwe was then the minister, was rowdy. I have to go to them. Gradually, we created a very powerful group of both Ghana Union Trade Association. Today, they are about the best organized and very, very wealthy today. But go to Bosoka and see, they are crying. And most of the problem they have, they have to be going to China and back and do their cost. They need to be brought down. So I went to Regional University and said, look, how can't you get these people some knowledge? Get them to school, give them certification, put them to a process. Because Silicon Valley here was a similar thing. Silicon Valley is being run by Harvard and Stanford. That's what they get knowledge. Now, these boys who do this, they are dropouts for schools, but they get knowledge on campus. So when you look at the Silicon Valley, they call them campuses. So a new building that is coming up where we have a whole floor which is going an academy, for training of people from UFM or whatever to give them knowledge in other areas. You see, this country get very polarized. People talk about politics or whatever it is. I don't see it. It's like a church. Whether you are NDC or MPP, you are AAP, or for us, we are MMP, AGI, we are Money Makers Party. That is a party that
you belong to.
We belong to, that we can move things forward. Because look, I didn't go to secondary school in Ghana, but all the people who are in the party politics, they are all secondary school Legon classmates. When you go to university or you go to parliament, you don't see the thing happen. What you see on television, you put your and brings it, but after that, they are. So let us see how we can refocus. I have a feeling that by the year 2030 election, 2024, Ghana will move the next generation, which are your generations. The past generation of 50 years would have gone past. But a lot of things that are going on in this country, I think that vigilante, whatever it is, there will be an end. When people have good jobs, all the vigilante people, if you give them a good job, post them to some place, Rwanda or somewhere, to work in those companies, they'll move on.
Okay, Doc, let me ask you. You hope to roll out these devices. I'm reading in one of an article on my job online, and it says that people could use it on other networks.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm reading that you hope to also launch the Ericell or something, a network which will have the internet-based Wi-Fi where there will be data available you can buy and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to roll out these devices and then they will not lock it up on your network, but you want to open it up to other networks?
Okay, today technology, there's no selfishness in it. You cannot be selfish technology today. You must allow the consumer of choice. Even under the laws of Ghana, there is a porting. Even though you're holding O2 you can port to O2. So then, but under this new technology, the issue is not about the things, about the application. It's about the apps. Like Joy FM, for instance. If you have a Joy FM app on your tablets, everything goes through that. So today it's not about roaming or all those issues. If I pick my Ghana phone today and I travel over the world, I use a Ghana phone, which is O2, phone. But as soon as I land in London, Europe, wherever, I get connected on over the world. Today is called Wi-Fi, which is free calls. Wi-Fi free calls. So technology has evolved. So there's nothing like locking up, like put a padlock and lock it up.
Like CELTEL used to have.
Like CELTEL used to have.
Yes.
We moved on. So under the voice over IP, I think NCA is non-granted NCA voice over IP licenses here, but those are some of the things that will be engaging as we moved on. As we wanted to do. And how do we look? If you look at if you go to the ports, for instance, most of these vice presidents in Baumia's initiatives, paperless the ports, is how to get revenue from the ports. But to get the revenue, the clearing agents must have what we call smart devices. The smart devices which they can be able to upload all the issues on it and then deal with it. If you look at the digital, address system, for instance, you need to have a smart device connected to even find it. If you look at Uber, for instance, when you get to Uber operates by a Google app. So locking up a phone is no more an issue today. Now, but you have an app. You eventually have an app on it. One of the things that happened, like agriculture, for instance, government had just established a commodity exchange.
Yes.
I was there the other day when we were opening with the president and everybody. I was so excited because my first job in life in Chicago was commodity exchange. So I was but as I went around, I saw lapsed already. But I was sitting by a gentleman who apparently is one of the spokespeople for the commodity exchange. So they called him that the USAID is supposed to go to India, and then he came. So when he came, after all the nice things, he came to me and said, "But Mr. President, I have something to say. I just came from India, and it's a whole different situation because all the farmers in India, they're holding smartphones that manage the farms.
Exactly. So we must introduce
Wi-Fi in the farm. Sprinklers are regulated by smartphones. Interest rates are so low, so you don't lose money. So he dwell on the technology. I was just laughing, because that's what it must be.